Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I want to focus on something that I see a lot of people struggling with, and that is how to cultivate true confidence. More specifically, I want to focus on avoiding becoming egotistical and focus on cultivating genuine confidence. For those of you who say that confidence is reserved for the extroverts and I'm just an introvert, therefore I can't become confident, that's untrue. While yes, it's easier to cultivate confidence if you are an extrovert, because if you're an extrovert, you generally recharge in social settings. You feel energized after spending time with a bunch of people, where if you're an introvert, you generally tend to recharge and feel more energized if you spend some time alone or by yourself. But that doesn't mean that introverts can't be confident. Confidence is a skill that can be learned and acquired. Now that that's out of the way, let's focus on ego versus confidence and how to cultivate true confidence. Firstly, let's define what ego is. Ego is defined as someone who thinks very highly of themselves. I really dislike this definition of ego because it almost seems like something that you should have. Everyone should think highly of themselves, right? However, confidence is defined as the feeling or belief that one can have faith in or rely on someone or something. Basically, in normal speak, it can be defined as a deep-rooted belief or trust in an ability, someone, or something. Confidence and ego seem to be very confused in today's world with social media of people standing in front of very expensive sports cars and taking photos and saying how good their life is and how happy they are. We define that as confidence, but really that's just ego. Confidence and ego cannot coexist. We therefore need to learn to let go of ego in order to be able to cultivate true confidence. Ego is not confidence. Ego is the more easily attainable counterfeit of confidence. Ego says, I can do that. I'm so much better than that guy. I'm so great. I'm so brilliant. And on and on and on. When ego is just a crutch for our own insecurities. It's very easy to see the difference between ego and confidence in a real life setting. Ego resists any form of criticism and are generally unteachable, where confident people are more teachable and open to advice, even if the person giving them advice is giving them very commonplace advice they already know, or it could even be wrong advice. Confident people will not jump on a high horse and tell them why they're wrong and that they're so much better than them. Ego needs to be loud to be heard, while confidence speaks for itself. If you take a look at someone who's mastered something, for example, any kind of craft, be it woodwork, painting, drawing, anything that you can visually see, you can definitely see the difference between a beginner and a master. The beginners are generally quite cocky and very arrogant about the progress that they've made, showing off their work to others in search for validation. Where the master doesn't need to show off his work. He already knows his skills and abilities. He knows the work he produces is good. Therefore, he doesn't have to show it to others in order to get validation. Think back to those old Japanese movies where the old swordsman moves so swiftly and gracefully with his sword. You know he's a master of his craft just by observing him and what he can do. Contrast to your friend who just joined the gym 2 weeks ago and is now bragging about the gains that he can see. One is confidence and one is ego. Confidence is you know you have the ability to do something effectively. You don't need others' validation, yet you are still teachable. Ego defends themselves against others. It's never their fault. It's always the situation, the circumstances, the time of day, or their friend Alex's fault. No, take responsibility, learn from your mistakes and move on. That is how you build confidence. Confidence is formed by doing and actually progressing. Ego is formed by mentally pumping yourself up. So now that we know the difference between ego and confidence, where do we go from here and how do we start building and cultivating true confidence? That is a video unto itself, but I want to leave you guys with 6 tips on how to start cultivating confidence. Number 1, confidence is formed by doing, not just thinking. You become confident in drawing when you draw a lot. So focus on becoming skilled or competent in the area that you want confidence in. Number 2, confidence is formed by being teachable and open to failure. This is probably one of the biggest points to note, because if you're open to failure, nothing can really harm you. You will fail at some point. That is a fact of life. You can't escape that. Those who haven't failed haven't tried. There's a great quote about this, which goes like this: The master has failed more than the beginner is willing to try. Being okay with failure makes it unable to hurt you, and thus will boost your confidence. 3. The way you talk and how you carry yourself. If you keep internally telling yourself, I suck at this, I'm not good at this, and so on and so forth, you're eventually going to start believing yourself. That's how your subconscious works. But if you're kind to yourself and you lift yourself up, that will build confidence. Be careful what you say though. Confidence builds up, it does not break down. If you're saying something that breaks others down to make you feel good, that is again ego at work. Also, a quick side note, just speaking positively in front of a mirror is not going to help. Your words need to match your actions, and then you will build confidence. Otherwise, you're going to recognize that you're just lying to yourself, and that's not going to help. 4th, tonality and voice. How you talk, what you say and how you say it conveys confidence. Do you tend to speed up your sentences if you're in a nervous situation? Take a deep breath, calm down and start to speak slightly slower. By being more calm and collected, you will come across more confidently. Speak from your diaphragm so that you have a more deeper and full voice. But don't fake your voice. Faking a deep voice is not going to help. Everyone can spot it and hear it, and that's not going to help you. First, realizing that everyone is focused on themselves and they generally don't care about you. When you're walking through the mall or any other social event and you're worried about your hair or your shirt or whatever, and you're thinking other people will notice how it looks, that's exactly what they're thinking about. No, they're focused on their own hair and their own outfits. Don't worry about it. They shouldn't be thinking that, and neither should you. You should just be enjoying yourself and being confident in who you are. Number 6, and most importantly, you're going to die, so live like it. If this was your last day, you wouldn't be bothered by half the things you're bothered about, and you wouldn't be nervous about other things that you'd generally be nervous about. You'd be more confident, you'd be living more intentionally. You'd be more centered and present in the moment. The Stoics have a great saying about this called MEMENTO MORI, which generally means remember death or remember you will die. It basically means that they focus on their mortality and realize that each day is precious and that tomorrow is never promised to them. This helps them to focus on each task that they're doing, to be focused and present in the moment, and to be happy and to find joy in the mundane. And of course, as a side note of living like today's your last, you will be more confident. So those were my 6 tips for cultivating confidence and how to identify ego versus confidence. I hope that you got value out of this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Till next time, goodbye friends.